Computer Science Principles. Hello, this is the recorded version of this particular lesson. So there are some things that I'm not going to have a give and take on because you're watching the recorded version. So next up, we have the introductions. First, I'd like to welcome you to this course and to this new school year. My name is Mrs. Whalen. I earned my Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Science from the University of Virginia and my Master's in Education Curriculum Development from George Mason. My hobbies include hiking, woodworking, reading. I also love to hang out and take walks with my husband and, believe it or not, with my cat Salem. Now, if we were virtual online in a meeting, I would ask each one of you to give me your name, your grade, and a hobby or two, something that you enjoy. Since we're not online, it's impossible for you to introduce yourself to me. So, going on, this is a unique class, as you must invent solutions to problems and create things all the time. Every day is going to be a new thing for you to do. You will work together and at times alone. Unfortunately, with the COVID virus, there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to do alone that normally we would try to do as a group. So some of them won't be as much fun or maybe as fruitful as they would be, but we're going to try our best to make it that way as much as possible. I want you each to know that you are unique and all of you have something to offer, regardless of how computer savvy or tech savvy you are or are not. At the end of the class, I will discuss the syllabus and the rest of the year. For now, let's get started. Everyone should have a piece of paper handy. Whenever you start these lessons, you should have some blank paper ready. So if you don't, just pause the video and go grab a sheet of paper and a writing instrument. Doesn't matter, pen, pencil, crayon, whatever works for you. Okay, I'm going to assume that you have that piece of paper handy. If you don't, pause the video and go get it. Now, you're going to have 1 minute to write down on your paper something that you know a lot about. It should be something that you could teach someone else. This could be anything from a game to a sport to singing a song to playing an instrument to any kind of hobby activity that you have. So I'm going to press this and it's going to start the countdown. And again, if we were in a synchronous course where I'm waiting on you, I would give you a minute, you'd write things down and come back. At this point, simply pause the video, write down what you know, and then continue. Okay, now share your talent. All right, since you can't tell me what it is, because again, this is a video lesson, I want you to just think about what you're good at, okay? And I want you to think about other people that maybe are also good at that talent, because you may want to call on them and ask them some questions at some point when we're going through this. Again, in a synchronous course, I would then ask you to introduce yourself and explain the thing you know about. Tell the group something interesting about it. So as you're sitting there all by your lonesome watching this video, think about what it is that you're good at and see if you can come up with something that's really interesting about it, something maybe that's novel that not everybody knows. Again, if you're watching this alone, on your paper, just note something interesting about your talent. And again, pause the video so you can make that notation. Now that you all know a bit about each other, or maybe you don't if you're not watching it synchronously, you know that a lot of people have a lot of different talents. And what I want you to do is for the talent that you've selected, or maybe you realize you want to pick a different talent, maybe something that somebody else mentioned you're also very good at, that's fine. You can switch your talent up. This next exercise is what I want you to look at. I want you to identify some way that technology is currently used with or affects your talent. And then I want you to think about making a suggestion for either a way that that's technology that you know about might be improved to make your activity better, faster, easier to use, safer, okay? Or come up with a creative new innovative technology that would help solve some problem with your activity or talent area. Okay, can you make something safer? Things that have made something safer. I love hiking. One of the apps out there, All Trails, I can download maps so that they're offline, and then just using the GPS in the phone, I can follow along the trail so that if I'm at a fork in the road in the trail and the markings are not clear or they can't be found, I can take a few steps in either direction and watch the little blue dot on my phone to see if I'm on the right path or not. So that makes it safer. Okay. Again, I want you to think of something that exists and then a way to improve it, or think of something brand new to help solve it. If we're in class and it's synchronous, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to think about this. If you're at home, take 5 minutes, take 10 minutes, take whatever you like, but jot down how you would make it better, faster, safer, easier to use, or what might be new that would improve the experience. Go ahead and pause the video at this time and take about 5 minutes to do this. Now, because we are virtual and we cannot have small groups like I do in class, and by small groups, it's not that we can't break up into small groups, but we can't break up into groups, chit chat, and then come back together like we would with 2 or 3 people, table partners, elbow partners, things like that. Instead, here, again, this is in the synchronous version, I would ask for some volunteers to briefly describe the improved technology or the new technology and how it improves the area of interest. This is just a sentence or two. Okay, now remember, if there are no volunteers, I'll start calling on individuals. And if doing this via recording, you can just skip this step. I will, I think, be recording the actual synchronous ones, so you could always go back and see what your classmates, what they called out, what they described. Now, what you've just done is brainstorming. You're not being asked to actually create this technology. You're being asked, money's no object, nothing, just what would make it better? So great, you've brainstormed. Now, I want you to get excited about the technology that you came up with, or maybe you listened to the ones online. I want you to use a blank piece of paper and sketch out your idea, making a visual representation of your idea. So this might be a drawing of the technology that you wanted. For instance, when I was describing the hiking app, I might draw a phone that had a map on it, a little blue dot, something like that. And then I might come up with something new. I don't want to describe something because you all might come up with something else, and I don't want to take an idea. But then I could add that feature on the phone that I drew. What I want you to do is, on a blank piece of paper, I want you to have a visual, some kind of picture. It doesn't have to be pretty, just a sketch. I want you to state the technology, what problem is solved, in broad terms. How does it work? I don't mean nitty gritty. We're not programming it. We're not thinking of all the minutiae details, but in general, how does it work? Who would benefit from this technology? Would it be a particular group of people? Would it be the end users? If you were making something, say for sport, would it be the players, the coaches, the referees or umpires? Would it be the spectators? Who would benefit from this technology? And it might be multiple groups in different ways. And then, again, what does it look like? That's your visual representation, okay? Is it something that we touch and see and feel, or is it something that's kind of hidden from the user? So this, notice I'm only giving 15 minutes. So this is, again, not supposed to be a detailed picture. It's a sketch with these questions answered. So again, at this time, pause this video and sketch out your new or improved technology answering these questions. Pause the video. Now, again, during the synchronous class, I'll call in a few people to hold their drawings up to the camera and of their serious sports issues. I will call in a few people to hold their drawings up to the camera for others to see. Okay. If you're called upon, just give a quick overview of your personal innovation. And again, just you can hold your picture up, turn your camera on, make it so that we can see it if your camera's not already on. Okay? No judgment, just want to see what you all are coming up with. Now, again, if we're in class, I would start calling on a handful of people, and then I would also like to know if anyone who I had not yet called on wished to share theirs, and if they had anything really unique to share, something that we hadn't talked about, an idea that hadn't been mentioned. Okay? And if this is yours, what I would really like if you were not able to attend class is to send me an email with a brief description of your technological innovation that you came up with. Now, for this, I want you to look at the list of technologies below. You're going to jot down one positive and one negative impact on society for each technological innovation. Okay? One positive and one negative. For this, I was actually going to give you maybe, if it would allow me here, like 8 minutes. Oh, no, like 8 minutes here to come up with this. And again, one positive, one negative. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start afterwards. I'll call on people to give me something, tell me which category and whether it's a positive or a negative. Okay? Again, if you're doing this at home, pause the video and list them. Okay, you're back. Now, I'm not going to fill in all of these because I don't necessarily want to overwhelm anybody, but if we were doing it in class, I would list up to 5 positives and 5 negatives. For social media, something that is positive could be connections. We're going to need to make this much smaller than 36. Let's go down to 16. There we go. Okay, so connections, personal connections with other people, that's important. Need to do that. Something that would be negative, and we're going to do, take this down to 16, and this one down to 16 so I don't overwhelm it. Something that's negative could be the advent of bullying. Okay, things are there. There's some things that could be a positive and a negative. Things like when you put it out in social media, when you put it online, something's there forever. That can be good. That can also be bad. Okay, it all depends. But connections with people, that's very important. Being able to bully people, not so good. And again, lots of other things can come in there. Self-driving cars. Again, let me just fix this. Self-driving cars. Well, a good thing. Okay. Safer roads. If you've got a self-driving car, it's going to go the speed limit. It's going to obey signs. It's going to obey the rules of the road, right? So there would be fewer accidents. A negative is who is responsible in an accident. Okay, now obviously I'm not talking about somebody else rear ends your self-driving car. Obviously they're responsible. Anybody who rear ends somebody is responsible. But what happens when 2 self-driving vehicles have an accident? Who's responsible? Which vehicle owner, or is it the company? Okay, that can open up a whole new set of laws, legal issues, and lawsuits. I'm sure you can think of other issues with self-driving cars. they're ubiquitous. They're everywhere. We all use them all the time. Good thing about smartphones is that you can communicate easily. You can get directions. How many times do you say, hey, we're going to go somewhere, and it's okay, I'll Google it, I'll look it up. Get information quickly. You can compare costs when you're shopping. What are some things that are bad? Well, lack of interpersonal relationships. How many times do you see a whole group of people sitting at a table and they're not talking to each other, they're not learning about each other, they're just looking at their phones? That's not good. Okay. Interruptions when you're in church or synagogue or mosque, someplace where you go, or a concert, and somebody's phone goes off. It's an interruption. And it's embarrassing for them, and it's annoying for the person that it's interrupting. There's also privacy concerns, right? You can be tracked where you are with your phone. For some people, they don't care. Other people care. So there's some concerns there. And again, I'm not asking for lots of detail. Just go through, and I left social media alone so that you can go back and come up with a few more there. Okay? Now, finally, if you've not yet done so, what I'd like for you to do is follow the directions below to join the class section in Code.org. You want to go to studio.code.org, and then I don't know which periods I'm teaching the class, so I haven't been able to set up the codes. So, don't know yet, but we're going to have, I have 2 different classes, so one of the periods will have one, and one of the periods will have the other. I will post these in Canvas, so you don't have to necessarily look here. It's on here because hopefully I'll have it before my first day of class. I should have it. Now, once you've joined Code.org, I would like for you to log in, and you're going to see a title for Computer Science Principles 2021. Okay? You want the 20 to 21 course. You want to click on View Course and then go to Unit 1. Looking at the Unit 1 overview page, you're going to see a Computer Science Principles pre-course survey. This is anonymous. The information is helpful to the designers of the course as they work to improve the course each year. So it's really important that you take the survey now, and there are a couple of other times during the year where you're going to be asked to answer a couple of questions that will help to improve the course for you as well as for those who come after you. Additionally, on the Canvas page, I will have a link to a page that will be directions on how to sign up for this class via the AP College Board site, because you need to be signed up for your College Board section so that we can get your AP College Board test ordered, and so that you will be able to be scored. Now, so that you can tell, when you log in to Code.org for the first time, you get to Computer Science Principles 2021, click on the View Course, go to Unit 1. This is what you're going to see. CSP Unit 1 Digital Information 2021. You don't want the 1920 or the 1819 course because a few things have changed in the last couple of years in the course. So we want to go to 2021. Then you're going to see CS Principles Pre-Survey. Right now it's locked. I will unlock it for you, or I will have it unlocked for the first couple of weeks of school. So please go in and take that. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. They're not terribly long questions, but it would be very, very helpful to the designers if you would please answer those. Finally, once you've taken your pre-course survey, I'd like for you to go down, and that's like the first thing in lesson 1. And the second thing, you'll see these little diamonds up here. The second thing is to watch a video called Computer Science is Changing Everything. I also have a link to it from the Canvas course, but you just go to the second section of Welcome to Computer Science Principles and click on Watch the Video. The video is not terribly long. Let's see here. Here it is. It's 5 minutes and 39 seconds. So the link will bring you up to this YouTube page. Okay? Now, once you're done with that, there's a short prompt in part 3 in Code.org. So you don't need any paper or pencil. You're just going to reply to the prompt. The prompt basically is, what does computer science, after watching this, mean to you? And I'm looking for 2, 3, 4 sentences. You do not need a dissertation. Please do not write a novel there. Just 2 or 3 sentences, okay? And then you can save it in Code.org. So before next class, make sure that you join Code.org, complete the survey, watch the video, reply to the prompt, and join the AP class section. That's it, and I will see you next time.